Picture this, Rihanna is standing on the steps of the biggest fashion night of the year, dripping in couture, cameras flashing like lightning, and her face is doing something her publicist did not approve. That cold, slow blink, that dead silent stare, that look that says, I see everything, I am saying nothing, and somebody is about to be in their car crying by sunrise. Baby, the Met Gala just turned into a crime scene, and Rihanna did not even have to raise her voice. She did not have to tweet, she did not have to subtweet, she did not have to do a live. All she did was stand there and the internet did the rest. Y'all, what we witnessed in that one single night was not just a viral moment. It was a full-blown industry power play, a relationship landmine, and a quiet generational warning shot, all packed into about 45 seconds of footage. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about the one thread that actually ties every single piece of this mess together. So pull up, lock the door, tell your group chat to hold on, because the real story behind that night is not what you think it is, and it is not what the blogs are selling you either. Let me set the scene properly, because the blogs out here have been running with cropped clips and lazy captions, missing the whole architecture of what unfolded. We have to rewind the whole tape, frame by frame, breath by breath, blink by blink. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky step out from the biggest fashion event on the planet. The energy outside is chaotic in that very specific Met Gala way, where reporters are yelling, fans are screaming from behind barricades, security is barking, and every single phone in a 3-block radius is recording in 4K, hoping for that one money frame that pays the rent for a whole month. Rocky pulls off to the side and starts having a conversation with an Italian woman, a former model who now runs creative for a major luxury house. He is leaning in, he is smiling that little crooked smile. He is doing that thing men do when they are very aware a camera is watching, but they want you to think they forgot the camera was there. And Rihanna, a few feet away, clocks the entire interaction in real time. Her face does not move, her eyes do. And that one frame, that 1/2 second of footage is what set the whole internet on fire by sunrise. Because once that clip hit the timeline, every single person with a phone became a body language expert overnight. Now let me tell you the part most of these reaction channels missed entirely, because they were too busy zooming in on Rocky's hand placement and his shoulder angle. The Italian woman is not random. She is not some bystander who stumbled into frame. She is plugged into the exact same European luxury circuit Rihanna has been quietly building her empire inside of for the last 5 years. Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty, the LVMH chapter, the whole machine. That world is small, painfully small. Everybody knows everybody, every assistant, every PR girl, every stylist, every silent investor. So when fans started saying, oh, Rihanna is just being insecure, no baby, Rihanna is being strategic. She knows that woman, she knows that house, she knows what a public lean-in looks like inside her own backyard. That side-eye was not jealousy, that was inventory. She was counting receipts in real time and filing them in her mental safe for later. And before the night could even cool down, here comes Tyla, glowing, confident, looking like she just stepped out of a perfume commercial nobody greenlit yet. She walks straight up to Rihanna with the energy of a girl who has been rehearsing this moment in her bathroom mirror since she was 15 years old. She wants the introduction, she wants the photo, she wants the cosign, she wants the blessing, she wants the moment her future biographer can point to. And Rihanna, in maybe 7 seconds total, gives her a polite hello, mumbles something about her man, and disappears into the crowd like smoke. Tyla, bless her ambitious heart, posts the clip herself, and the entire internet exploded again, because now we are not just talking about a side-eye, we are talking about a brush-off. We are talking about a passing of the torch that did not happen. We are talking about a queen who refused to crown anybody. But here's where it gets layered, and this is the part nobody is breaking down correctly. The Tyla moment was not isolated. The whispers in the industry about tension between Rihanna's camp and Tyla's camp have been bubbling for nearly 2 years. 2 whole years. That is not a Met Gala squabble. That is a slow burn that finally found its match. And the whispers were never even really about Tyla herself as a person. They were about the playbook. people in those quiet boardrooms, the ones with the long tables and the bad coffee and the lawyers nobody recognizes, those people allegedly felt that Tyla's team was running a rollout that looked a little too familiar. The cool girl branding, the crossover positioning, the dance hall meets pop meets global swag energy, the visual language, the fashion campaigns, the whole vibe. It felt copy and paste to people who watched Rihanna build it brick by brick over 20 years of late nights and contract negotiations and quiet sacrifices. And then there's the Ayra Starr layer, which is honestly the most overlooked piece of this entire puzzle. Industry chatter has been saying for months that Rihanna actually connected more naturally with Ayra Starr's lane, the Afro-pop princess thing, the unapologetic African star thing, the not trying to be the next anybody thing, the original signature she carved out herself. Meanwhile, the same chatter has been saying that certain elements of Tyla's water era rollout looked a little too inspired by Ayra's blueprint. Now listen, I am not saying that. I am saying the streets are saying that. There's a difference. And once those rumors leaked, the fan wars went nuclear. Ayra fans came in swinging. Tyla fans came in swinging harder. Comment sections turned into the comment section equivalent of a wrestling cage match. And the more the fans fought, the bigger the story got, the messier everything became, until nobody could even remember what the original argument was about.
Then came the song, the receipt, the smoking gun nobody can stop talking about. A few days after the Met Gala drama, Rihanna posts her own little recap video. Now, Rihanna does not post recaps. Rihanna posts when there is a brand drop, a Fenty launch, a baby announcement, or a strategic photo. She does not do casual content. She does not do filler. So already, the fact that she is posting at all is suspicious. But here is the gut punch, the song she picks, the audio she slaps under the entire video, an Ayra Starr track. Out of every single artist on planet Earth she could have chosen, every viral sound, every classic, every throwback, every TikTok trend, she picked Ayra Starr, right after the internet had spent 5 straight days debating Tyla versus Rihanna. You cannot tell me that was random. That was a sniper shot dressed up like a coincidence. That was Rihanna leaning back in her chair, sipping her drink and pressing post with one manicured finger. And see, this is the Rihanna nobody under 25 really understands. Rihanna is from the era before social media drama scripts. She does not clap back. She does not subtweet. She does not record a teary video on her front porch explaining herself. She communicates in symbols, in song choices, in what she wears, in who she follows, in who she does not follow, in which event she shows up to, and which one she suddenly has a conflict for. Her entire career is a masterclass in saying everything by saying nothing. So when she dropped that Ayra Starr audio, every single longtime Rihanna fan knew exactly what just happened. The girls who grew up on her catalog felt it in their bones. That was not music. That was a memo. Stamped, signed, sealed, delivered, with the Queen's wax seal still warm on the envelope. Now let me pull back the lens, because the bigger picture is even crazier than the individual frames. There is something about Rihanna's situation that is completely different from every other living legend in pop music right now. Beyoncé has had her musical daughters, Normani, Victoria Monet, Tinashe at various points, even Chloe. Beyoncé has always operated with this generous big sister energy when it comes to artists who openly study her. She lets them eat. She lets them dance in the shadow of her tree. But Rihanna has never had that, not once. For almost 2 decades, Rihanna walked her own runway with nobody attached to her hip. No protege, no little sister, no heir apparent. She built billion-dollar brands. She had a family. She became a mother twice. She stepped back from music without ever stepping out of the culture. And in that vacuum, in that quiet, the industry started searching for her replacement, even though she had not retired, even though she had not handed anything off, even though she was very much still alive, still influential, still terrifying in a boardroom. And that is the unspoken rule everybody keeps breaking. You do not crown a successor when the queen is still seated. You do not name the next anybody while the original is still walking through every red carpet on the planet. That is not a comparison. That is a coup attempt dressed up like compliments. And whether anybody wants to admit it out loud or not,
Rihanna feels that. She is too smart not to. She has watched the headlines. She has seen the comparison reels. She has watched her own blueprint get reverse engineered in real time by teams who think she is not paying attention. Baby, she is paying attention. She is just choosing silence as her statement. And silence, in Rihanna's hands, has always been the loudest sound in the room, the sharpest weapon in the building, the most expensive sentence in the language. Let us talk about the visual evidence too, because this is where the receipts get really uncomfortable for certain people. When Tyla dropped those visuals with Zara Larsson for their collaboration, the longtime Rihanna girlies immediately had a flashback. The lighting setup, the dramatic shadowed eye makeup, the slicked back wet hair, the cold blue color story, the cinematic angles, it all felt like a love letter to Rihanna's "Where Have You Been" era. Now look, inspiration is not theft. Every great artist studies the ones who came before them. Beyoncé studied Tina. Gaga studied Madonna. Bruno studied Michael. That's how the lineage works. The difference, the critical difference, is what you do with that inspiration. Do you transform it into something new, or do you trace it like a coloring book and hope nobody notices the outline? And the streets are split on that answer when it comes to Tyla. Some people swear she is a genuine original who just happens to share aesthetic DNA with a legend. Others are convinced her team is running a Rihanna 2.0 simulation and praying nobody hits pause to compare the frames side by side. Then the Chloe Bailey moment happened, which threw gasoline on an already burning kitchen. Chloe posts a look. The look reads as very Tyla-coded to a lot of people. Tyla reposts it and calls it very pop-coded. The internet immediately reads that as a quiet flex, a quiet claim, a quiet branding moment. Chloe later clarifies that her inspiration was actually pulling from older artwork, completely unrelated to Tyla, but the damage was already done, because what that moment proved, more than anything, is that Tyla understands the assignment. She knows how aesthetics travel online. She knows how to plant a flag in the cultural conversation. She knows how branding works in the age of TikTok detectives and screenshot historians. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. That's what rising stars are supposed to do. They are supposed to be strategic. They are supposed to be aware. They are supposed to be playing the game with both hands and a backup plan in their pocket.
The problem is, when you play the Rihanna game in front of Rihanna herself, you do not get to be surprised when she does not hand you the trophy. That is not bitterness, that is physics. Rihanna does not owe anybody a cosign. She does not owe anybody a duet. She does not owe anybody a Fenty campaign or a feature or a hug on a red carpet. She built that empire one decision at a time, with no safety net, in an era when black women in pop were told constantly to wait their turn, smile prettier, and dilute themselves for radio. So if she decides to keep her doors closed while she is still inside the house, that is not shade, that is sovereignty. That is the queen choosing to remain on the throne in full view in real time on her own clock. And let me say this plainly, because the comment section is going to need it. The pressure on Tyla right now is genuinely insane. Coming off a global breakout hit like Water puts you in a pressure cooker most people never survive. Every move is dissected, every outfit is compared, every interview is clipped, every collaboration is graded by strangers online who have never met her. The label wants another Water, the streamers want another Water, the fans want another Water, and in that pressure cooker you start reaching for proven formulas, you start studying what worked, you start borrowing what is familiar, and before you know it, your rollout looks like a tribute album to somebody who never asked to be honored. That is not Tyla being a villain. That is the music industry chewing up another young black woman in real time and calling it strategy. Here is the part that breaks my heart a little though. The fans are the ones being weaponized in this whole thing. Tyla fans against Rihanna fans, Ayra fans against Tyla fans, beehives sometimes pulling up out of nowhere for sport, every camp screaming at every other camp from the rooftops. Meanwhile, the actual artists are usually backstage somewhere drinking water, hugging their teams, and ignoring 95% of what their fan bases are screaming online. The girls are not fighting, the internet is fighting, and the labels are making money off every single click of the fight. Do not forget that. Do not ever forget that. The war is a paycheck for somebody you will never meet.
But back to that Met Gala night, because we still have not closed every loop. Let us count the dominoes that fell in just a few hours. 1. ASAP Rocky leaning into the Italian creative director. 2. Rihanna's now legendary glacial stare. 3. Tyla walking up confidently and getting a 45-second polite dismissal. 4. Tyla posting the clip herself. 5. Rihanna posting her own recap with an Ayra Starr soundtrack 3 days later. 6. The entire internet connecting dots that may or may not actually be connected. That is not one viral moment. That is 6 in one single news cycle around one single woman who did not say a single word the entire time. That is the power Rihanna walks around with. That is the gravitational pull. She does not have to do anything. She just has to exist, and the culture starts spinning around her like a planet in orbit around a star that doesn't even need to glow on purpose. And here's the unique angle nobody is touching, because everybody is too obsessed with the surface level she said she did not say drama. The real story here is not Rihanna versus Tyla. The real story is not even Rihanna versus ASAP. The real story is Rihanna versus the entire music industry's obsession with always needing a next. The girl is in her late 30s. She's a mother. She's a billionaire. She's the architect of one of the most successful beauty brands in modern history. She does not want to be remixed. She does not want to be reissued. She does not want to be the answer key to somebody else's exam. She just wants to live, raise her babies, run her empire, and drop music when she feels like it. And the industry will not let her exist quietly because there is too much money in the comparison game. Every new Rihanna headline is a stream booster. Every comparison reel is an ad sale. Every fan war is a trending tab. The whole machine needs Rihanna to be a measuring stick forever, because legends drive numbers even when they're doing absolutely nothing on a Tuesday afternoon in their pajamas.
That is why her silence at the Met Gala hit so hard. Because in a culture that demands you explain yourself every 5 minutes, Rihanna walked into the biggest night of the year and said absolutely nothing with her mouth. And her silence was louder than any press release Tyla's team could ever draft. Her silence was a statement of war and a statement of peace at the same time. War on the people trying to fast forward her legacy, peace with the version of herself that no longer needs anybody's approval. That is power on a level most people will never touch in their lifetime, no matter how many followers they collect or how many number ones they chart. Now, before we wrap this up, let me address the elephant in the room, the ASAP Rocky thing, because some of y'all are going to leave this video and only talk about the relationship angle, even though it is honestly the least interesting part of the whole night. Look, Rocky flirts. We know this. Rocky is a flirty man. He likes women. He likes attention. He likes the feeling of a room watching him work. Rihanna also knows this. She married him anyway. She had 2 children with him anyway. She is not surprised by his energy. She is annoyed by the angle. There is a difference. The side-eye was not a please come home. It was a please stop embarrassing both of us in 4K. And every long-term relationship knows that face. That is the I am not mad, I am tired face. That is the we will talk about this in the car face. That is the I love you, but stand up face. And Rihanna delivered it with the precision of a woman who has had that exact same conversation 17 times in 17 different 5-star hotel suites in 17 different time zones. But here's what makes Rihanna iconic in this whole situation. She did not embarrass him. She did not pull a phone out. She did not raise her voice. She did not break the picture. She held the relationship together with her face muscles and let the internet do the dirty work for her. That is grown woman energy. That is wife energy. That is mother energy. That is I built an empire and I am not about to set it on fire over a 45-second clip energy. And that is exactly why she is Rihanna and not somebody else trying to be Rihanna. That distinction matters. That distinction is the whole point of this entire conversation.
So when you stack all of this together, the Italian creative director, the icy stare, the Tyla brush-off, the Ayra Starr soundtrack reveal, the 2 years of industry whispers, the visual comparisons, the Chloe Bailey crossfire, the fan wars, the unspoken rules about successors, the pressure cooker on rising stars, and Rihanna's choice to communicate only through silence, what you actually get is not a scandal. You get a masterclass in how a legend protects her legacy without lifting a finger, a masterclass in how the music industry tries to commodify everything, even the simple act of one woman walking past another at a fashion event, a masterclass in how the internet manufactures villains and heroes out of 45 seconds of footage because the algorithm needs to eat tonight, tomorrow, and every single day after that until the next big distraction lands. And honestly, the truth is probably exactly what your gut already told you. Rihanna was tired, Rocky was being Rocky, Tyla was being ambitious, Ayra was minding her own business in another country, probably about to drop a banger that will rearrange the charts. The Italian woman was networking, the internet was bored, and the Met Gala once again proved that it is not just a fashion event, it is a psychological battleground where one wrong blink can rewrite the timeline of an entire week and reshape 3 careers in the process without anybody even raising their voice above a whisper. But the thread, the real thread, the one nobody else is pulling on is this. We are watching Rihanna decide in real time whether she wants to be a teacher to this generation or a closed book on the highest shelf. We are watching her quietly draw a line in the sand and say, you can study me, you can love me, you can be inspired by me, but you cannot have my crown while I am still wearing it. And every other rising star, not just Tyla, every single one of them, just got the same memo, whether they realize it or not. The era of waiting in line for the queen to hand you the keys is over, because the queen has decided she is going to keep her keys, her castle, her catalog, and her peace. So tell me, was that Met Gala night really about Rocky, or was it about a whole new generation getting a very polite, very quiet, very Rihanna-shaped reminder that legends do not pass torches just because the internet is rushing them? Drop your honest take down below. Do not be shy, do not be lukewarm. Give me the real opinion, not the safe one. And if you made it all the way to the end of this breakdown, you already know what to do. Like the video, share it with the friend who keeps sending you the cropped clips, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, because this kind of layered breakdown is exactly what we do every single week, every single Sunday, every time the culture moves an inch. And trust me, the next chapter of this story is already brewing somewhere on a private flight between 2 cities you cannot afford. I will see you in the next one. Stay locked in, stay loud in the comments, and stay sharp, because the culture moves fast, but we move faster, and the receipts always find the light eventually.